Welcome to junkjournalmayhem at Studioloo.
Hello and welcome back to the Mayhem. So today we're on day 12. It is worn clothing. So did you know that the majority of clothing that gets donated does not go into any kind of reuse really? If it doesn't get bought, it ends up in the landfill. Most clothing is not really recyclable. This is what I'm playing with today. This is an itty bitty little vintage dress when my kids were little, and as long as I could possibly find things, and still now, I do buy them lots of vintage clothes because I love them. I love the style. I love everything about them. This is kind of a crispy kind of fabric. It has this little kind of crinoline under it. It looks like I've already chopped a little piece off of it here to do something with. It's just like a little light yellow buttery kind of colored dress. So I think what I'm going to do is start by just cutting the ties off. And I use worn clothing all the time for things because, yeah, as much as I can keep for things not going out into the trash, the happier I am. So I think what I want to do today maybe is create sort of a bunch of maybe pockets that have been kind of decorated. So let's cut this just above the skirt line here, because then we'll have sort of two pieces to work with. There's the other side right here. Sorry if you hear a lot of thumping. You may not be aware that I have elephants in my family that live upstairs, and they run around a lot, and they're little elephants. So yeah. It's calamity most days with the dogs and the kids, but we somehow get through. Okay, so now we have this nice long bit of skirt, and then this little cute bodice here. It's so cute. So I think I'm going to start with my favorite part of this, which I think is the bodice. And I was thinking about gluing it down perhaps on top of book page because it's see-through, and this is kind of a pretty book page. It's I don't know, I just like it for some reason. So let's unbutton this little button at the back here and open this up. And what I like to do when I'm taking apart clothing is I just like to kind of make it as flat as I can. So that usually involves just getting into the sleeve and cutting from that line from the collar to the sleeve. And that will sort of open that area up. And it gives us more usable parts of the whole. Oh, here's the little tag. Party look, original. So cute. Went on a nice long walk today. The blue jays were all out in the trees screaming and letting us know it's spring, and the mosquitoes were out in full force because, they're evil. So yeah, that's what I did. Alright, so we have this nice, very thin chenille type fabric. I think the first thing I'm excited to kind of play with is this pocket. Or not pocket, sorry, collar. Cut this off. And this is kind of the hardest part to use really when you're making things. It's just where all these angles and curves are. But I'm going to show that to you. So this part is kind of the easy part. This is the part that, it's of course, use that. It's amazing. So I think what I'll do with it is I'll make one larger tag type piece, and then the rest I will make pockets. So I'm just going to cover my glue book in glue. Revolutionary, I know. Okay. Try to flatten this out as much as I can. It's not a huge problem if it's a little wrinkly. Not a big deal. So we will even it out as we use it. So that's one. And maybe what I should do is pull this out, create a pocket shape. Just give it a quick X of glue because it doesn't need a lot of glue. I will be stitching on these. Glue booger. Okay, then we have the collar. So then what I do with this kind of material is I'm just chopping it up for coverage, basically. So let's cover this. And this is where you just kind of relax and like layer this up. So you've got buttonholes that are visible up here. Then, you know, you can do another glue layer here toward the bottom. I don't want to cover up those buttonholes, but I want to use the collar. So put the collar on here. And that'll be the next thing that heads over to the sewing machine. We'll do the same with this one. Smush that down. What is this? Then I have a sleeve here. And another sleeve and the rest of the bodice with the buttons. Okay. I'm just going to cut a bit of this off for coverage at the bottom. I want those buttons to sit sort of in the middle of this pocket. Okay. Take that little trim piece down here. Buttons here. And then maybe this little scrap, because it's straight, can go right up here. And then that will be ready to head to the sewing machine. So there's 3 pieces. I think we can probably get one more. I'm just going to use the difficult bodice part. I'm not going to like make with the entire piece because that would take a really long time. And I think that you know that it's pretty easy to create with flat skirt. You could do a journal cover with that. We're here to be challenged today. You're lucky I didn't pull out some old man underpants or something out of my husband's closet. Don't tell him I called him that. But that would have been funny. You know, if I do mayhem again, maybe that's where things will eventually devolve to. I'll be running out of ideas for weird things to do. I kept it, I admit, a little tame because I didn't want any of you who follow me for wholesome reasons to run screaming into the night and never come back. So the plan here, I've got this, and this. We are going to go to the sewing machine, stitch around all of them. I may back them before I do that. Actually, not the pockets, just this piece. I'm going to back this piece, just so that when I do sew it, it's all together and I don't have to like go back and sew it again and so on and so forth. So I'll come back with these stitched and then we'll do something fun with them. Okay, so ultra calamity has ensued now. My little poo is here, Toasty. He has grass allergies, so he often makes his little schnorts, but here he is. He says hello, and he's sticking his little tongue out because he does that sometimes. So, hi Toasty. Oh, you poor dear. Were you outside? Okay, let's put him down. We're gonna go play with the kiddo. Okay, so I'm back. And you will see that I stitched on these. I did so with blue thread, and there's black in my bobbin. So there's some black and blue, and oh goodness, hopefully he stops with his schnarfling that he does. This has been a thing now for a few years. When he is outside and he comes back in, he has grass allergies. We've gone through about 8 million different checks to make sure there's nothing going on, because I was so worried about his heart when he started doing this, because I once had a dog that I rescued that had a heart problem, and he would do that, but his heart is fine, so he's okay. He's just schnarfling. Okay, so we have these 3 pockets, and I stitched on this one along the line of the collar. And as I was stitching around on these, I would sort of pull the fabric in. You can choose to like neatly cut around, but I'm not going to. Like, it just doesn't need it. Then there's this one, which I backed. So what I was thinking I would do is find some things to decorate these with. But before we get started, I thought I'd use something that's accessible to most people today, and that's these Tim Holtz dolls. But first I wanted to show you how demented this one is. Look at the 2 ladies at the top, how their faces have been laser cut. These are just so completely demented looking. I'm going to use those in some kind of a scarier journal, I think, because they're pretty scary. So we're going to use less demented dolls today, and I grabbed a few random ones, some little ones. This is like the girl Harry Potter, or this girl or something, I don't know. This one, these like look like some kind of evil, you know, like teachers in an asylum or something. They look very spooky. She's cute. These gals are, you know, they're of the age, that time frame, in all their fancy schmancy clothes. So I think I'll use a bigger one on here maybe. I also have some of these little minte flowers that I cut out just in a white. Not colors that I work with a lot, so I thought, you know, that might be interesting. Okay, so let's grab this bigger one here. And I've just got to navigate the buttons. So what I think I might try to do, because I want to sort of center this, is just see if I can't just jam one of the buttons into this space. And it could look like, you know, they're just all up in the buttons here, and that's okay. Yeah, I think that would be cute, just like that, with the button going right in the middle there. So I will use a bit of 3-in-1 to put this on. Maybe I'll pick it back up again. Oh, and we have to punch that little spot out, which could also have a button go through it. Sorry if you still hear Toasty. He probably will stop with the schnarfing soon. It usually just lasts about 10 minutes after he comes in. And then once he settles in, he's fine. Okay, so we said this side, right? Yeah, okay. Let me just try to maneuver this again without getting glue like literally everywhere, and without dementing her head. Anybody's head to get messed up like those others. There we go. Give it a press. Perfect. And then up here, a little something might be cute, like perhaps this. And we need just a little something else. Got a bit of this. I was making a book spine and it went awry, but I wanted to keep this. This is hand-dyed fabric. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay. Now I'll grab my ink. I think I'm going to use the Scorched Timber just around the edges of this. just use 3-in-1 for everything because there's a lot of fabric today. And this is another like way to just create another nice little collection again. So like, again, if you're making a journal and you're trying to stick with a theme, it's really helpful to like pick something that has a lot of material like this dress, because it will allow you to go through and like, you know, say you're working with a digital kit, maybe that digital kit has some like focal points, maybe they're floral, maybe they're dolls, maybe they're whatever, you know, like you can include them on the pieces, and what can draw it all together is the fabric that you've used and your theme, right? So it helps to create more theme. So then this one, I like the idea of putting like right in the collar, maybe like one of these buds just underneath the lace, just kind of coming out of there. That would be really cute. And I love that without even anything on it. But let's take a look at maybe putting our little girl on here too. Just this little one. And then maybe, simply because we're putting her on there, we'll put a flower or a bud on there with her. Like so, and it will kind of bring those two together. Yeah, that's cute. So then we'll scorch timber these. Yeah, I've been having, like, since I've started doing this, I've been having lots of thoughts about other kinds of strange materials that I could have used. There's really no end, you know, in sight for the strange things that you can use and when you're making. To just, I think I'm thinking of it mostly in like a use things up kind of way. You know, your recycle bin definitely can provide a lot of material. It's actually kind of wild to me how much stuff that we have packaged. Okay, well, we'll put her right there. Just give her a little press so she sticks fully. A little more ink. Let me just dirty this up with a little ink here and there. Definitely on the buttonholes to bring them out. It's kind of cool. Maybe just a little over here. Not too much, just a bit, just a little bit. Let's kind of smush that around a bit. Okay. So that's that one. Now this one, we'll decide who we want to put on there. I think I'll use her. I don't think I'm going to use these little ladies here. I think I like her more for this project anyways. Sort of like that. Okay. The other thing you could do too is you could stitch a zigzag down the middle of her, which I might do. So we'll just ink around this. I think I will put that here maybe. Again with the buttons sort of interspersed in there. Yeah, that's fun. So let's go ahead and glue these on. Hey Toasty, you're back. But you're being quiet now. Thank you. Okay, now we'll put this back on here. How did I have the button again? In here? I think, like so. Yeah. Pull this button up here, maybe. Just kind of use the buttons as the guide of where to lay this down. And then she'll go on top of the stem on the edge there. I might just cut this little bit of ruffle off. That's fine. Okay. Give this a little glue. I don't know, maybe I won't stitch it actually. I am such a sewing person. I'm always stitching everything. I think I'll just leave that little ruffle up top. Put a little extra glue off her. That's my only problem with Fabri-Tac is that it's too plentiful. Okay, there we go. Now, I don't know, maybe I will cut the ruffle a bit so it doesn't block her head. Okay, that's scraps. So there's that one. Now we have the last one here. We'll put these two scary ladies on here maybe. They look so unhappy. Okay, that or this one. I don't want that flash of green, so I think I'll use this one. And I'm just going to cut their feet down a bit here. And I can probably even nestle them in to this lace a little bit, which will add, you know, some fun kind of texture on the pocket. Okay, so stick them in there. And I'm not going to press that one shoulder down because I think I want to put this flower under there once I get it inked. Okay. Just lift her shoulder a little. There we go. Okay, so let's take a quick look here at what we did. So we have 4 pieces in total. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So yeah, I like how they look. They turned out really cool. And I think they make a nice little collection. You know, you certainly could use them in the same journal or in separate journals. And yeah, that's a nice way to use up this dress. Now the rest of this, easy peasy, I'll do something with it on a journal cover, or I'll do what I just did here with the rest of it. And then these ties, these would be really great as like tag toppers, journal ties. This is just a really pretty twisted, very lightly woven fabric, and I'm not 100% on the composition of this. It's got a bit of roughness to it, so I'm not exactly sure what it is. I suspect it's a cotton, but it probably has a blend of something. I'm half tempted to say it could be silk. It's that gnarly silk of, like, you know, the 50s that wasn't that refined kind of silk. You can sort of tell when you tear it, but it's got no shine to it. It's that rougher silk. It's like mulberry silk. But anyhow, that is the project for today. Hopefully it inspired you. I love how these little swirly button just kind of pops at the top. I like the buttons. I think they just kind of add like another element to this that I didn't even necessarily plan for. So hopefully you enjoy these. I think they're fun, and you should give it a try yourself with some old clothing. Anything out of your wardrobe that you just haven't been wearing. It's lots of fun. Fabric's really good for just using as a background on a tag or anything like that, and always journal covers, of course. So that's it for me for now, and I'll see you tomorrow for more mayhem. Bye for now.